शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुर्गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुस्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। निधाय हृद्विश्वेशं विधाय गुरुवन्दनं बालानां सुखबोधाय क्रियते तर्कसङ्ग्रहः। So we completed the Paka Prakriya, right? Yeah. So now we continue with the other gunas. Then comes Sankhya. Ekatvadi Vyavahara Hetu Sankhya.
एकत्वादिव्यवहारहेतुसंख्या एकत्वादिव्यवहारहेतुसंख्या
Sa Navadravya Vrittihi.
सा नवद्रव्यवृत्तिः
Ekatvadi Parardha Paryanta.
एकत्वादिपरार्थपर्यन्ता एकत्वादिपरार्थपर्यन्ता
Ekatvam Dvividham.
एकत्वं द्विविधं
Nityamanityanja.
नित्यमनित्यं च
Nityagatam Nityam.
नित्यगतं नित्यं
Anityagatam Anityam.
अनित्यगतमनित्यं
द्वित्वादिकन्तु सर्वत्रा नित्यमेव
द्वित्वादिकं तु सर्वत्र
नित्यमेव
नित्यमेव द्वित्वादिकं तु सर्वत्र नित्यमेव
सर्वत्र अनित्यमेव सर्वत्र अनित्यमेव.
ओके सर्वत्र अनित्यमेव
So it's talking about number. So again, similar to the gunas such as dik and kala, here also this definition of number is based on the kind of utility that it has. So how does number help us? It helps us in the conversations of numbers. That is how it is, right? Ekatvadi vyavahara hetu. So when you're counting, so after the counting you get something. So that is what is helping you to what you call deal with multiple entities. So that is number. And this number is there in all the 9 dravya. In all the 9 dravyas. And it starts from 1 to the highest number called Parārdha. So what is Parārdha? It is 1 lakh billions. Something. Okay. Similar to. Until then we have the count. I mean we have the system of counting numbers until Parārdha. Okay. And this Ekatvam is Nitya and Anitya. That also depends on the entity. I mean, Ekatvam is essentially a guna, so therefore it will be in a dravya. So if the dravya is Nitya, then the Ekatvam in that particular dravya will also be Nitya. If it is Anitya, then it will be Anitya. So therefore, in Paramanus, in the Akasha, Kala, Dik, Atma and Manas, in all these entities, dravyas, Ekatvam is Nitya, is eternal. From Dvyanuka until whatever the Ghata, Pata and everything, the Ekatva, that is Anitya. And another thing is, the number 1 is default. In the sense, whatever entity is being born or exists, the number 1 is default. It is inherent in it. So this is only related to 1. But from 2, okay, Nityagatam Nityam, Anityagatam Anityam. So that is only confined to 1, Ekatvam only. Dvitvadikam tu sarvatra anityameva. So the number 2, from 2 until Parārdha, all the numbers are Anitya. Why? When will the number 2 occur?
And something has been duplicated.
Now, how will you know that there are two?
Oh, when there are two distinct entities, so one is not infinite because
No, not like that.
two.
More practical, this thing. If you have to know that there are 2 or 3 or 10, how do you know?
You have to count.
Count, right? So counting is what it is, one kind of a knowledge, which is called as apeksha buddhi. It's called as apeksha buddhi. So one is inherent. As I said, one is default. There is no need to even think whether there is the number 1 or not in any of the objects, because it is inherent. There is no need to count, right? But from 2, you need to count. Then only you know that there are 2 or 3 or 4. This cannot arise without counting. So it has a very limited period of time. Even though there are 2 Paramanus, if at all you may have to count, you cannot count it as, the Paramanus cannot be counted as you count, the objects that are there in front of you, because you cannot see the Paramanus. But even through logic, if you know that there are 2 multiple Paramanus or 2 or multiple Paramanus, the idea can only sustain for a limited period of time. Okay, there are 2, there are 3, there are 10. But for 2, you may not feel that much pressure. But think about multiple numbers like 10, 20, 50, 100. So if you think, like these, on these numbers, this is only possible. I mean, this will only sustain, the idea will only sustain until that particular thought is there, the counting is there. So that is why while you are counting notes, have you ever counted notes, bundle? So you tend to miss the number many a times. Why? It is because you lost that idea, right? So therefore, this proves that from 2 until Padārtha, all the numbers, whether they are in eternal entities or non-eternal entities, the number is non-eternal. Because whenever the idea of counting goes away, the apeksha buddhi gets destroyed, the number also will get destroyed. And apeksha buddhi will definitely have a very limited period of time, existence. So therefore, from 2 until Padārtha, all the numbers are anitya only. Okay? Then Parimanam. Manavyavahara.
Manavyavahara.
Asadharana karanam.
Asadharana karanam.
Parimanam.
Parimanam.
Navadravya vritti.
Navadravya vritti.
Tatchaturvidham.
Tatchaturvidam.
Anu. This is not nu, it is nunu. Anu mahat.
Anu mahat.
Dirgham hrasvam cheti.
Dirgham hrasvam cheti.
So now we are talking about parimana. Parimana means size. So this size is what it is essential for measurements. So mana means measurement. So whatever any any idea, any communication related to measurements will need size, right? So therefore, that is how the existence of parimana is substantiated. And again, parimana is prevalent in all the 9 dravyas. Broadly, this is of 4 types: Anu, Mahat, Dirgham, and Hrasvam. Anu means small, Mahat means big, Dirgham means it is what you call tall, and Hrasvam means short. There are other kinds of measurements also, but they will all be considered among these four only, right? So if you see, this is the broader classification. It's not a very detailed one. There will be detailed one in other areas, but for now, there is no utility of doing such intricate, measurements kind of a thing, because in other maybe like Shilpa Sutras and etc., where it deals a lot of with the kind of measurements precision is needed, we will find a lot of in detail classification of measurements. But here it is more like length and breadth and width kind of this thing. Then pruthag vyavahara asadharana karanam pruthakvam. Pruthag vyavahara
पृथक् व्यवहार
asadharana karanam
असाधारणकारणं
पृथक्त्वम्
पृथक्त्वं
सर्वद्रव्यवृत्ति
सर्वद्रव्यवृत्ति
so pruthaktam is a bit of it's a bit tricky. So this pruthaktam is more about maybe we have to call it as independent, the nature of being independent. So whatever object is being created, or whatever object exists, not only created, whatever object exists, that particular object is independent in its existence. Independent in the sense, a kind of difference, right? So there are, two Paramanus or to any object. Their existence is independent. They're not like, even though like color and dravya, right? The color and the shirt. These kind of entities, they both are together, but yet shirt is independent from the color. So the existence of color has its own, nature of being different from the cloth. So cloth is different, even though the existence, you cannot show the color and cloth separately, but their existence to be independent, right? So this idea is called as pruthaktva. Okay. And the pruthaktvam is also in all the 9 dravyas. Then comes sanyukta vyavahara hetuhu. Sanyogaha. Sarvadravya
सर्वद्रव्यवृत्तिः
So sanyoga is what is congruence, coming together. So both have come together. So then you call it as sanyoga. Again, sanyoga is also there in all the 9 dravyas. Sanyoga nashako guno vibhagaha.
संयोगनाशको गुणो विभागः
सर्वद्रव्यवृत्तिः. So essentially here there is a small process. Wherever there is sanyoga, there will be a process of 3 to 4 kshana, 3 to 4 seconds kind of a process, which starts with kriya. In the first second, there will be kriya, that is action. Then vibhaga happens. Then the purvadesha sanyoga nasha happens. So essentially, if I am taking, a book from table to somewhere else, I'm replacing it on another table or surface. What happens? There is a sanyoga between table and that book. Okay. So that is the then an action originates in you, right? There will be an action where you want to remove the book from the table and put it on the chair. So this is Kriya. So after this Kriya, what happens? You will remove the book from the table, right? So then the Sanyoga between the table and the book, it got what you call destroyed. So this happens to be Vibhaga. And because of this Vibhaga, the previous Sanyoga of the table and the book got destroyed. So this happens in the third second. And afterwards, then you are taking the book to a new place called chair. Right? Then that is called Uttara Desha Sanyoga. So then another Sanyoga of the chair and the book happens. Right? So wherever there is Sanyoga, there is this 4 Kshana Prakriya. This process. If you try to analyze, it is there. It is only that we do not consciously actually perceive all this process. But it is existing. Right? Yeah.
Is it said that this can happen to any dravya? Like any 2 dravyas can undergo this
Yeah.
process?
Yes.
Okay.
Wherever there is Sanyoga, there will be Vibhaga previous to it. There will be
And
Kriya.
it can happen like with Paramanus.
Yeah, Paramāṇu Dvaya Sanyoga. It has to happen, right? Paramāṇu Dvaya Sanyoga has to happen. Yeah. So that is why Vibhaga is called Sanyoga Nashakaha Gunaha. Sanyoga Nashakaha means Sanyoga Nasha Janakaha. That guna which destroys Sanyoga is called Vibhaga. So in the Kshana Prakriya, if you see Kriya, Kriyataha, Vibhagaha, Vibhagat Purvadesha Sanyoga Nashaha. So when we say Purvadesha Sanyoga Nasha, then what is it causing this Nasha of the Purvadesha Sanyoga is the Vibhaga. So therefore, Vibhaga is called as Sanyoga Nashakaha Gunaha. Okay? Maybe afterwards, while you go through this recording, just write down that Prakriya of the 4 seconds. So
Yes,
that,
I'm writing it. Sorry.
yeah. So that will help you. Okay? So I think we'll stop here. Okay?
Okay.